Pertinent to ancient Greek religion and myth, Hades was the god of the dead, and king of an underworld bearing the same name. This kingdom was fit only for the deepest and darkest part of the sea, aptly named the Haidel zone, after the infamous lord who ruled there. Today, the most profound part of our ocean renders the deepest point on Earth, a region that only begins 20,000 feet below the surface to the very depths of the deepest sea trench. The Hadal zone is an irregular expanse of terrain encompassing plunging trenches formed during shifts in the Earth's tectonic plates. To date, 46 Hadal habitats have been discovered, amounting to 41% of the total depth range of the entire ocean. Yet, very little of this mysterious realm has been explored. While scientists still know very little about this almost impossible to study region, what they have found is astounding. For example, supergiants breathe life into the otherwise cold, dead waters of the deep, and the harsh environment has given scientists a glimpse into life on other planets. What's more, it's so hard to chart the deepest part of this territory that only 3 ever have. Here are 9 things you never knew about the deepest point on Earth. 9. A place where plastics come to die. A large threat to our oceans lies within the depths of the waves. Because there are so many trenches, caves and ravines, garbage has a much higher chance of becoming lodged within these ominous orifices. Pollution pervades our waters in the form of plastic and other biodegradables, and one integral part of the problem is that we can't even see that it's there. Not to mention, humans have taken advantage of these gaping gullies by purposely dumping waste into the ocean, knowing full well that the evidence is unlikely to be traced. Take the 70s, for example, when tons of toxic pharmaceutical waste, equivalent to the size of a Boeing 747, was dumped into the Puerto Rico Trench. At the time, the region was a large producer of pharmaceuticals, and the dumping was given the go-ahead, while a new wastewater treatment site was under construction. Delays, however, warranted dumping to carry on well past the temporary measure allowed, and the activity continued for another 10 years. Samples retrieved from the area indicate that ecosystems were severely damaged by all the pollutants. 8. The first to navigate the Hadal zone. Jacques-Yves Cousteau was a famous French oceanographer and undersea explorer, as well as the inventor of diving and scuba gear, such as the Aqua Lung. The researcher was arguably the most famous undersea pioneer of modern times, and as such, led the first expedition to collect samples from the Hadal zone. The mission became known as the trailblazing HMS Challenger Expedition, named after the deepest point in the ocean, located within the Mariana Trench. From 1872 to 1876, scientists managed to extract samples from 26,246 feet under the sea. But, at that time, were unable to confirm if the animal remains they found were actually living at such depths, or if they merely sunk from waters above. It wasn't until 1948 that a Swedish search vessel, known as Albatross, was able to successfully collect samples from 25,000 feet in order to prove that creatures were able to thrive in these conditions. Thus, proof lent the notion that the Hadal zone was indeed inhabited. In 1956, Jacques Cousteau took the first photograph of one such daring region, known as the Romanche Trench, in the Atlantic Ocean, an amazing 24,500 feet down. The explorer's photo provided the first glimpse of this never-before-seen realm of the deep sea. If you haven't already, take a moment to subscribe to What Lurks Below and hit the bell to get notified. 7. The deepest sighting of live organisms. With equipment that may destruct at a moment's notice, studying the creatures that survive in the Hadal zone can be extremely tricky. Prior to 2008, most species were described from one sample only, and often in a poor state. Scientists describe these creatures as shriveled specimens, similar to those found in a museum, ones preserved for hundreds of years at a time. Yet, in 2008, a breakthrough was made when the first images of live organisms from the Hadal zone were recorded, providing a realistic understanding of these deep-sea scavengers. The Japanese research vessel, Hakuho Maru, was exploring the Japan Trench when it captured images of Hadal snailfish, as well as swarms of active fish feeding on tinier swimmers. This overturned ideas that fish at such depths would be shrunken, sluggish animals, as previously thought. So far, this was the first confirmed sighting of a live specimen thriving at extreme depths of 26,722 feet. 6. How low can they go? Recent expeditions, such as the Hades project in the Pacific, have led scientists to suggest that no fish can be found below 27,560 feet. However, the Haidel zone extends to 36,000 feet. Despite this gap, marine biologists speculate that fish can only reach the limit around 27,500 feet because proteins at a lower level cannot otherwise build sufficiently. Other researchers have counteracted this claim to remind us that organic molecules in fish, called trimethylamine oxide, TMAO, which is the component that gives fish that fishy smell. TMAO allows proteins to work at high pressure, so of course, shallow water fish possess lower levels of TMAO, while deep-sea organisms have increasingly high levels. It is further argued that the amount of TMAO necessary to counteract the pressure problem would be so great that water would begin to flow uncontrollably through their tiny fish bodies and kill them. While theories continue to offset each other, there is one known creature found below 27,560 feet. Shrimp-like Hadal amphipods. These organisms scavenge off the waste of Dead Sea creatures which float down from above. So the question remains, if these crustaceans can survive in such an extreme environment, what else is down there? 5. Supergiants live in the Hadal zone. Even more exciting is that supergiants have been found in the Hadal zone. An enigmatic creature known as Alicelia gigantea. This amphipod is at least 20 times the size of its other cousins, who prefer the shallower regions of the ocean. Their name and size comparison makes them sound daunting, yet supergiants are actually minuscule crustaceans, measuring less than half an inch long. Related to the humble sandhopper, these tiny shrimp-like organisms are usually caught burrowing into the wet sand after the tide rolls back out to sea. Their tiny clear shells, often found littering the beach. The largest specimen of supergiant, however, was a 14-inch female found in a trench in the Pacific Ocean. 4. The deepest point. Located in the western Pacific Ocean is a trench so deep it has earned the name for the deepest point in the Earth's surface. The Mariana Trench is notably the deepest region of our planet. In fact, it is the Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench that surpasses any other deep-sea zone. Located 124 miles east of the Mariana Islands, the underwater region appears as a crescent-shaped scar and measures around 1,580 miles long, 43 miles wide, and has a maximum depth of 36,070 feet down, where the region of the Challenger Deep is located. Other deep trenches around the world, to name a few, include the Tonga Trench, the deepest trench in the southern hemisphere, which dips 35,702 feet below sea level, the Philippine Trench, which plummets 34,580 feet below the surface, and the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench, which creeps 34,587 feet underwater and has a radius of 102,000 square miles. 3. Depths so fierce, they can only be measured with explosives. In order to measure the very deepest parts of the ocean, scientists must resort to bomb sounding, a technique in which TNT is thrown into the trenches to record the echo from a nearby boat. This technique allows scientists to estimate the extreme depths, despite the method's questionable estimation of such a sensitive process. The rough results have proved extremely impressive. Nonetheless, as so far 4 trenches, the Kermadec, Kuril-Kamchatka, Philippine and Tonga, all in the western Pacific Ocean, have been identified as deeper than 32,808 feet based off this method. 2. More people have explored the moon than the Haidel Deep. To give some perspective on the vastness of the deep-sea trenches in our oceans, Mount Everest would fit inside with just a few miles to spare. The Mariana Trench is the deepest point of the Earth, and its sheer size serves to explain why the region is so rarely explored. In fact, only 3 people have ever made it to the bottom of the Mariana Trench: 2 scientists aboard the Trieste in 1960, and the film director James Cameron in 2012. The challenge lies with the trenches of the Haidel Deep being so remote that getting equipment and people to such depths proves incredibly difficult. The underwater pressure is what adds to this feat, as the force at 8 tons per square inch is like having 100 elephants standing on your head. Such extreme conditions cause ordinary instruments to implode, and most have, in attempts to circumnavigate the deep ocean floor. Venturing this far down requires special mechanisms that can withstand the immense pressure, but even those have proved unreliable. For example, the 2014 remote unmanned sub, known as the Nereus, became the latest in a long line of research probes to fail during a mission. While exploring parts of the Kermadec Trench just off New Zealand, the sub imploded and broke apart, likely due to the extreme underwater pressure. What's strange is the same vessel successfully navigated the seafloor of the Mariana Trench in 2009, proof that these man-made tools can be highly unreliable, making history one moment and self-destructing the next. 1. Studying the Haidel Deep broadens our knowledge of life in space. Did you know there is a term for creatures able to survive in extreme conditions? Extremophiles, they're called, and the name sounds as alien as these creatures themselves. After all, extremophiles that can withstand the environment of the Hadal zone are considered very unique. They'd have to be, as these microscopic beasts of the abyss must have acquired special characteristics to be able to thrive at extremely low temperatures, even higher pressures, and little to no oxygen. As this type of atmosphere is similar to outer space, the study of these creatures has provided scientists with a glimpse of how life might prevail in space, where conditions are almost parallel to the dark and suffocating perils of our deep sea. Microorganisms such as Pyrococcus, CH1, have been found in deep-sea vents, providing researchers with an indication of the type of life that may exist on other planets, especially Jupiter's moon, Europa. While so far there is no evidence that life exists on Europa, the moon has emerged as one of the likeliest locations for potential habitability. There, in its under-ice ocean, scientists speculate there is an environment similar to the one in Earth's deep ocean hydrothermal vents. One thing the Hadal zone and outer space have in common is that both are vastly unexplored, meaning the possibilities of what lurks within are endless. Can the Hadal zone's extreme environment and its link to outer space suggest that life exists outside our solar system? You decide, and don't forget to subscribe to What Lurks Below for more amazing mysteries of the deep.